Big Lou. Yeah, you in the mix, man. You in the mix. Sports
problem, especially with key components. You know, major players on these teams.
Being born and all of that. So, how did you actually get into that position of head coach?
Now that our kicker is inconsistent, what's going to happen is he's going to be even more aggressive.
They can bring in who they want, and they may be able to.
I keep saying it, man. Clark, I knew it. She was just gonna be a game changer. And look, another thing that I like, and
sports mix, you in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. You rockin' with Kenny.
What up? What up?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loudly.
Okay, gotcha.
And clearly. Well, season is over. You know, I told y'all we'd be back. We was here Sunday pregame. You know, and we all had predictions. We predicted the Ravens gonna win. And I told y'all, you know, I'm gonna be here, win, lose, or draw. I'll be back. I ain't running. I ain't scared of you, mother. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. I'm here. I'm here.
Right.
I'm here, man. So, you know, Ravens lose the game Sunday. You know, tough loss, man. Tough way to lose that game. I mean, man, you know, Ravens jumped out 10-0. You know, they go to halftime with a lead. Steelers get the ball back coming out, tie the game up. They go up 13-10. You know, and then from that point, once you got into that fourth quarter, it was kind of back and forth. You know, Ravens go up. What was it, 24 to 24 to
20.
24-20 or 24-19. Was it 24-20?
24-20, yeah.
20. Yeah, they ended up losing by about 3. And man, no, they lost by 2.
By 2, yeah. They missed the extra point and made it 26-24.
Just the extra point. So yeah, man, it was woo down to the last possession. You know, Lamar connected with Likely on a fourth down, man. I mean, the hell of a catch by Likely in traffic. They got the Ravens into field goal range. Got them in the field goal range. Man, it was like 12 seconds left.
Yeah.
With a timeout.
Right.
So, you know, hindsight, you know, there's a lot of people saying maybe they could have ran one more play.
Right.
Try to get it closer. Or maybe try to put the ball in the middle of the field, you know, for a better angle on the kick. It's a lot of, you know, Monday morning quarterbacking, second guessing, you know, what ifs, what could have been, you know. You put the rookie kicker in position to win the game. It's his first game winning attempt all year. What a spot. What a spot to be in that position for the first time of your rookie season. You know, with everything that was on the line, you know. And I know we've talked about him, you know, a few times this season. I had no confidence in him at the start of the game. And I was not excited that the game was put on his foot, you know. I just didn't have the confidence. I mean, I wanted him to make the kick, of course. And I wasn't hoping or just sitting there like, oh, he gonna miss. But I didn't have confidence. I wasn't confident in him making the kick. Glenny Moore, what's up, brother? You Glenny, listen, Glenny, of the three of us who were on here Sunday, Glenny said that he would be a key factor in this game. Luke. Glenny said that he would be a key factor in the game. And he was a key factor, all right. Just not the way Glenny wanted him to be. You know.
Yeah, yeah. He said it would come down to the kicker. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, it was but I give him credit after the game. He stood up, he faced the music. You know, he answered questions, which is not easy. It's not easy to do after you miss a kick of that much significance. You know, and we can't excuse the fact that he's a rookie. You can't excuse the fact that, it was his first game winning attempt of the season. All excuses go out the window. You know, you professional. Your job is to make kicks. That's why they pay you what they pay you. You go in there in that situation and you make that kick and you win that game. you know. And again, he's a rookie. He's under contract, so he's not going anywhere. He'll be back next year. And hopefully he learned from it. I saw Derrick Henry make a statement basically saying that, it just wasn't in the cards. And it kind of reminded me of when what's his name missed the kick against New England a few years
Yeah.
ago. And
Yeah.
Lewis in the locker room saying it just wasn't our time. It just wasn't in the cards. It wasn't meant to be. You just got to accept what is and move on. And for as tough a loss as that was, man, you got to accept it. You got to accept that was what was in the cards that night. That Luke was going to miss that kick, and now we're going to find out who Tyler Luke is moving forward. We're going to see what kind of metal he has moving forward. From this, like I said, he's just a rookie. I don't know right off what his contract status is, but I know he'll be here at least another year or two. On a rookie deal, and he'll have opportunity to prove if he was worth that draft pick that they expended on him. But it was tough way to lose that game. Tough way to lose that game, man. It just wasn't a good feeling. I know my neighbors probably never heard me cuss the way that I cussed that after he missed that kick. And, it was late at night. I know some people, probably was getting rested and getting ready for work the next morning. But man, it was just tough way to lose that game. But it was a good game. I mean, just from the standpoint of a game, take the win and loss out of it for whoever you're rooting for. It was just a good football game. But that's just where I got right now. What was your thoughts on just the game itself?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think it was a real exciting game for fans to watch. I mean, even if you didn't have anything into it, you weren't a Pittsburgh fan or a Baltimore fan, you still enjoyed a really exciting football game that literally came down to the last second, to the last play of the game. Back and forth in that fourth quarter. Each team kept making plays coming down the stretch. For us Baltimore folks, obviously we lost the game. Heartbreaking. And it seems to be to me that the Steelers seem to have the edge on us in these tight games, where they seem to be able to pull it out down the stretch. And for me, I say Ravens and Steelers going into a game. I mean, to me, they're already up 3 points because I think Tomlin is at least 3 points better than Harbaugh as far as a coach. So I think, going into that game, we always down 3 points. And then another thing that I believe, is that I don't think that Baltimore is a favorite of the NFL. I think the refs are skewed slightly in their calls against the Ravens. I don't think they really like Lamar that much. So, I'm always looking at the refs and looking at the calls in these big games. And they made a couple of calls, man, that I didn't like. I didn't like the pass interference in the end zone at the end of the first half. But luckily, the Ravens stood up and made the great play out there to stop them from scoring. That was the same type of call that was made when we played Buffalo. And those plays, they threw a flag with 30 seconds or so left in the first half down at the 2-yard line. Buffalo went in for a touchdown. I know we get Andrews caught a lot of flack in that Buffalo game. But I say that call by the refs at the end of the first half was the biggest thing that helped us lose that game. I didn't like that call at all. So we deal with those kind of things as a Ravens football team. That's why when we go into those games, we can't be BSing because these refs and we're in Pittsburgh and we're going against Tomlin and it's a game of inches. And you mentioned about the having a timeout and still 12 seconds on the clock. I definitely would have ran the ball. And that's what I was saying at the time. I said, man, come on, man, run that ball. Because who knows, man, Derrick Henry could have popped that thing for 15 yards or something.
Yeah.
Especially with the kicker that we got. Now, I know that he was perfect between 40 and 49 yards during the season. He hadn't missed a kick. But again, you made a strong point. This is the first time that this guy was in the position of a game-winning kick. And I mean, the gravity of this game, man, was off the charts. So yeah, it was a great game. The Ravens came up short, and I feel for Luke, but he's in the NFL. He's been kicking field goals a long time through college, through high school, and a 44-yard field goal. The expectation is that he was going to make the field goal.
Yeah. And that again, tough spot for a rookie to be in. But it's the 17th game of the season. You're no longer a rookie. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer a rookie at this point in the season. And again, it's pressure. Everybody is not built for the pressure of the situation. And I saw him say that he knew that it was off when he put his foot on it.
Me too.
He
Me too.
He said when he knew when he kicked it that it was going to miss. You know what I'm saying? And again, I equate a kicker to somebody shooting a free throw in basketball. Like you say, there's certain distances you expected to make those kicks. And I tell my kids with free throws, man, listen, free throw shooting is nothing but repetition. You do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and you find success at the free throw line. And it's the same thing with a kicker. Kicker is all about having a routine. We understand that from snapper to holder, you want that ball put down in a certain way. You want the laces, turned away from you. All of that. The snap looked good. The hold looked good. The kick wasn't. And he missed it bad. You know what I mean? He missed it bad. It wasn't even like it just went right. I mean, it went way right. And so again, that's just concentration on the kicker's part. He didn't put foot to ball where he needed to, probably where he did it thousands of times this season in practice. You know, thousands of times he's probably put the ball from that distance or even further out and probably knocked him down with no pressure. You know, and again, you cannot simulate that type of pressure. There's no way you can practice for that. There's no way you could. The only way to simulate that pressure is to be in it. You know, and you know we a lot of time we kind of downplay the role of a kicker because they don't have a glamorous job. You know, they're not out there getting hit. They're not scoring touchdowns. You know, they're not quarterbacks and all this stuff. But the importance of having a good kicker showed last night or Sunday night. You know, and I've said it here, man. We in Baltimore, we've been spoiled. You know, not only with having. Come on, man. I'm trying to have a serious moment, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. This dude, man. This dude. I mean, I can't catch a break with this guy.
Yeah.
The importance of having a kicker. Like I said, we've been spoiled. You know, we've had two great kickers in this organization. You know, Justin Tucker, of course, and
Matt Stover.
Matt Stover. You know, both were part of two, you know, Super Bowl winning teams, two Super Bowl winning teams here. Both play vital roles in getting the teams to and winning those Super Bowls. You know, both guys were very vital parts of those teams. And so in Baltimore, for sure, we understand the importance of having a good kicker. You know, we understand that. You know, having had, you know, top defenses for years and years and years, and offense was not explosive. We depended on the kickers for a long time. So, you know, I think again, sometimes we take it for granted that we, you know, we had great kickers here. You know, again, I talk about the great players that we had, and we take for granted just how good Ray Lewis was, how good Ed Reed was, how good Suggs was, and Haloti Nada. You know, we take for granted because those guys, you just don't replace them. It's hard to replace guys of that ilk. You know, guys with the reputations that them guys had, man, and you know, we Justin Tucker. I mean, he you know he ran into a situation last year. I mean, we talked about it. You know, we know what he did. We know what the situation was, and we know why he's not no longer on the team. We understand that clearly. Had none of that happened, Justin Tucker would still be the kicker here, and the results of that game and probably a few other games this year might be different. You know, let's also not forget that after the last touchdown, Luke kicked was it before the last one or the one before that, he kicked it out of bounds.
Right.
They gave the Steelers the ball at the 40-yard line. So again, you know, this has been a problem with him all season. He's had that problem all season.
And they went and scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and they went and scored. So not only was it the missed field goal, but it's you know, kicking the ball out of bounds, and that's happened several times this year.
Yeah, I think somebody said 8 times.
Yeah, well, that's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
That's totally unacceptable. Then you talk about the times where with the new kicking zone, where he didn't get the ball to the kicking zone or the receiving zone, whatever it's called now.
Put it in the end zone.
Yeah, and so
he did that too in this game.
Yeah, so there are, and that's a field position thing.
Don't forget that he missed a couple extra points this year too.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you know, they drafted this kid to replace a legend.
Yep.
It is not easy to replace a legend. You know, as great a kicker as he might have been in college, I don't think a lot of people even understand the pressure that it is to replace a Justin Tucker. You know, for all the jokes we made about the massages and all that stuff with it, Justin Tucker was a hell of a kicker, man. I mean, the greatest kicker in NFL history. You know, percentage wise. You know, and he probably, I think he lost that title with the season that he had last year, and we kind of understand why he was having the season that he was having.
Yep.
I'm 100% convinced he knew that stuff was coming down the pike,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
which is why he was missing the kicks he was missing last year. You know, but again, it was unexpected after a 1-5 start that the Ravens would even be in a position to get into the playoffs. You know, um, I didn't write them off, but I didn't think that this was a playoff worthy team. You know, of course, I wanted them to get in, and if they would have got in, it would have been a great thing. But what I expected once they got in, now my expectation wasn't really high. You know, and I think there's some disconnect in the locker room, and I believe they took the first step to correct the net today and relieving Coach John Harbaugh of his duties. You know, which is a big story. The big story tonight. You know that Harbaugh is no longer the coach of the Ravens, and it's something that we talked about it Sunday for sure. I felt like it was time. You know, win, lose, or draw. I felt like at the end of the season, whenever the season was going to come to an end for the Ravens, me personally, I felt like it was time. And a lot of that was, you know, the losing games that they should have won or were in position to win. I don't think you should win anything, but the games you were in position to win a game in. You know, John Harbaugh has lost the most games in the fourth quarter of any coach in the last 5 years, and he had a double digit lead. Look at this guy. Hey, listen, I texted you Sunday night and congratulated you. And don't come in here with this nonsense, because Monday, Tuesday morning you're gonna be crying too. Mike Tomlin gonna be fired Tuesday. They probably let him resign Tuesday morning. It's gonna be over for you too. But congratulations to you and your Steelers fans. You know, I was, but if they'd have lost, I'd have been on you. I'd have been on your neck. You know, let me say, we did what you couldn't do. We sent your coach packing. Yeah, but somebody else gonna send your coach packing. That's fine. It's all good. Tomlin, it's time for him to go too. You know, them coaching jobs are not forever. Now you're in the playoffs. What you think the Steelers going to do in the playoffs now, Mr. Steelers fan? 'Cause I think they one and done. I think Houston going to go in there and beat them. Send Aaron Rodgers packing. Yeah, you're a little concerned, huh? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. They won't beat the Texans. They won't beat the Texans. Any other Steelers fans out there watching? Any other Steelers fans have anything concrete to say about your team? I mean, this ain't the Steelers show, so let's leave Mike Epps alone. Omar Epps, yeah, you don't even know the right Epps. Well, you got your Epps mixed up. Oh, Mike Epps.
Well, he looked like Omar. Oh, Mike Epps. Yeah, you said Mike Epps.
Mike Epps crazy. He's sleepy.
Omar.
Yeah, he's sleepy, man. Yeah, but anyway, congratulations to you and your team. It'll be short lived. You'll be crying Monday, talking about a new coach and who's gonna be the quarterback of the future there. But congratulations tonight. Tonight, that's it. All right, let's get back to Harbaugh. All right, so I know you do. I know you appreciate it. I'm not that cold blooded. I'm not that cold blooded. You know, I still question my cousin's judgment. You know what I'm saying? What's Sanders? Dion? Oh no, sir. No, sir. Not for the Ravens. And not for the Steelers either. If he coached, if he if he coached in the NFL, he going to Cleveland. If he goes to the NFL, he gonna go to Cleveland. But I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. But anyway, not Lamar. John Harbaugh has been relieved of his duties here in Charm City. Um, man, man, you know, I mean, we talked about this. We talked about it. So, what were your thoughts when you saw the news, Dean?
Yeah, I mean, and like you say, we talked about it, and I thought that the conditions were right for Harbaugh to get fired. I thought that there was definitely justification for Bisciotti to pull the plug and release and let Harbaugh go. And previously we thought that you and I, we thought that some of the calls for Harbaugh's job was a little premature. But again, the justification was there. I think that New England game really blew things up big time to lose that game, and for Derrick Henry to be sitting on the sideline and you're the head coach trying to get into the playoffs and you let that happen. I think I know Bisciotti probably almost popped the vein in his neck in that game. So the conditions were there. The justification was there. And again, it's not easy for a guy like Bisciotti to fire a guy like Harbaugh, who's been around for 18 years and won a Super Bowl. And again, their families are friends. This guy's a friend, man, a true friend. They hang out, so it's just a tough thing to do, to fire a guy who's been around. And Harbaugh he's a guy of high character. He's a high character guy, man. I saw him walking through the tunnel with his arm around Luke at the end of that game, man. I mean, I saw the punter, after he missed the field goal, the punter gave him a quick hug and tapped him on the helmet a couple times, and then he went about his business.
Yeah.
Left Luke on his own.
I
said, man, that was cold to me.
Yeah.
And, but I saw Harbaugh, man, walk with the guy, put his arm around the guy, and walk with him into the locker room. I mean, because you already know going into that locker room, out of all that was happening, walking into that locker room was the most difficult part for Luke.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh walked in there with his arm around him, and high character guy, and absolutely he's gonna land on his feet for sure. We already know that, and he knows it too.
Yeah.
And so we not worried about Harbaugh. If he wants to coach, he can coach. But when you think about the Ravens, I know we know the record of a lot of fourth quarter losses. But he's going to be high on that list anyway because he got 18 years in. Most coaches don't have that many years in to lose that many games. But when you talk about, losing, I think it was when Cundiff went wide left.
Yeah.
That was for the Super Bowl. The Chiefs game, Zay fumbles on the half-yard line. To go to the Super Bowl. Andrews against the Bills, coming up short on that game, and this game.
Yeah.
With Luke. So, I mean, it's a game of inches. And like I say, you go up against the Steelers. I got Steelers up 3-0 before the game started.
Yes.
Because of Mike Tomlin's skill at coaching and being able to get ready for those big games. So I mean, so what do you do? I mean, and I just think that the justification is there to let Harbaugh go, and not only Harbaugh, that means Orr, that means Monken, and that means basically the whole staff.
We cleaning house.
Cleaning house.
Cleaning house.
The fact that they did lose the game, it made them be able to make this call quicker, because I think if they had lost in the first round of the playoffs, we would have still got the same results of Harbaugh being released.
Yep.
So it just happened quicker. We get a higher draft pick. My understanding is that we get the 14th overall pick in the next draft. And in case you guys forgot or need a reminder, the last time we had the 14th round pick is number 14 on the Ravens.
Kyle Hamilton. Not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick at all. So
shout outs real quick. Got my New Start Church family checking in, Pastor Jonathan Hancock.
Yeah, what's up, Johnny? And I agree with
Sandy.
Brian Flores.
Miss Sandy Lancaster also. New Start. Thank y'all for tuning in.
A lot of people were shocked, Sandy. A lot of people were shocked.
Yes. And also down in Atlanta, you know, your partner in crime checking in.
Okay.
Chili Rob. Beanie Allman, what's up, my brother?
Yes, sir.
When it's time to go, it's time to go. So long, farewell.
Yeah.
I bet you say good night to Harbaugh. There you go. Hey.
Yeah.
It was time.
It was time.
It was time, man. It was time. And like I said it Sunday. Win, lose, or draw. It was time to go in a different direction. You know, 9-8. Well, they finished 8-9. You know, John Harbaugh has an overall winning record. He's been here 18 years. Got a Super Bowl, went to 4 AFC championship games. You know, multiple AFC North championships. You know, already Adam Schefter reporting that 7 teams have already contacted him.
Yeah.
For head coaching jobs. So he won't be unemployed long if he wants to work. If he wants to be a head coach in this league, he won't be unemployed long at all. And I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I just think it was time. You know, I think it was time. It was time. His time here was short. And then, you know, these coaching jobs are not forever. He outlasted everybody's expectation. Remember when he first got here, nobody even really knew who he was. You know, he was a special teams coach. You know, and people kind of balked at that. And I think he was a decent coach over his tenure here. I mean, he's probably better than decent. Let me not minimize what he did. He was a better than decent coach. But it was just time, you know. Everything is not meant to last forever. You know, these coaching jobs, this is not, you know, Vince Lombardi and you know, Tom Landry, them guys. Well, you know what? And I just found out Vince Lombardi only coached like 9 years, like with Green Bay. So it wasn't like he coached down there 20 years or something like that. But like Tom Landry, you know, Chuck Noll, them guys had you know, they got a couple generations of players before they walked away. So Harbaugh is in very unique company, you know, to be the head coach for 18 years in one place. You know, and again, he had a winning record. So, you know, it was just time for him to move on. You know, and I got the statement up there. If anybody, you know, I'm gonna take a look at it. My glasses ain't that good. I can't read that little small print. But he made a statement, you know, and he was gracious for his time here in Baltimore. He was thankful for the players that he got opportunity to work with. Thankful to the organization for giving him a shot. And he mentioned the fact that I was just a special teams coach, you know, coming in. So, you know, he was grateful for the organization, for the fans, you know, grateful to his family for you know, hanging in there with him, man, and just riding out with him, you know. And I guess, you know, when you commit yourself to a job like that, where you spend most of your time on the job and you on the road, and you know all the things that come with being a head coach in the NFL, you know, he did it for 18 years in one place. That's a great thing, you know. So I'm appreciative of the time he was here, and it's time for him to move on. And I'm sure he's going to land on his feet. Pastor Hancock said, even the Bible says for everything, there's a season, and his season was up. You're right. It's just time to go in a new direction. And that's it. That's it. That's it. It was time. His time here had passed, and maybe a year too long. We could debate that all we want, but it's over now. He is gone. The vacancy is up. So we'll be hearing all the names over the next few days or so of the candidates who will get an interview with the Ravens. I don't keep up too much with the hot coordinators as I may mention before on one of the previous shows. I don't really get too caught up in the hot assistant coach. Usually it's from one of the better teams. So if you're looking, Seattle right now is a hot team with one of our former coordinators as their head coach. I'm sure some of his guys are on the radar for head coaching jobs. Philadelphia Eagles, they been last year's Super Bowl champ, uh, division champion again, second seed in the NFC, second or third seed in the NFC, whatever. I'm sure they got some coordinators over there that are going to be coveted for some of these jobs. Another thing we talked about with respect to Harbaugh's job, not even his job, but just the job of let me see, Pastor said Brian Flores or Rex Ryan. I saw something last week that mentioned Brian Flores as a possible fit for the Ravens. I hope that Flores gets an opportunity, and that the situation from a couple years ago isn't kind of held over his head. I think he's been able to rebuild his some credibility. Starting with Mike Tomlin, that gave him a job right during the middle of all that nonsense that was happening with his getting the job, not getting the job, and then the suit with the suit, the fight he filed suit against the NFL. But he was the defensive coordinator up in with Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and he had him playing pretty good defense up there. So will they give him an opportunity? That's up for debate. We're going to see. But I would like to see him get an opportunity. And why not here in Baltimore? Rex Ryan.
I would think this would be the year, man.
Was that?
I would think that this would be the year for him, man, because there's going to be a lot of vacancies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Rex Ryan?
I'm not interested in him. I like the guy, the Brian Flores. I think is definitely a hot prospect. He's been up in Minnesota for 3 years as a defensive coordinator. In the 3 years that he was there, the defense was overall was 11th, 3rd, and 2nd in the 3 years that he was there. So he performed really well. And like you say, that fiasco that happened before was that fiasco was crazy before. So I like his name, but again, I'm kind of like you. I'm not on top of all the coordinators out there and who the hot prospects are. I'll have to let that play out for itself. But it's a big move across the NFL. I think that the Ravens head coaching position is probably one of the most sought after positions out there right now. I mean, who would not want to be a head coach for the Ravens with Lamar Jackson there, and also Bisciotti, whose reputation is he has a tremendous reputation as being a great owner, and we've seen that over the years. So the Ravens head coaching position is an elite position. So I think that Bisciotti could absolutely get exactly who he wants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the thing now is, who does he want?
That's the big question.
Who does he want? And there's a statement from Steve Bisciotti of course. And again, he was thankful for the job that John Harbaugh did. I'm not gonna read it word for word.
Yeah.
Uh, but he was thankful for John in 18 years here. They got a relationship that none of us would know the depths of that relationship. Just what kind of time they spent together and kind of conversations they had together. I'm sure the head coach and ownership, especially when you're around that long and they've had some success, have had to have a relationship that went beyond just play, owner or organization leader and the head coach. 18 years is you're talking about almost 20 years that they've been around each other. That was Bashadi's first big hire when he became the owner. He had Brian Billick for a few years once he took over, and I remember him kind of holding Brian Billick's feet to the fire because during those Kyle Bowler years that there just was some bad years for the team,
Ridiculous.
and with some of the prime talent that they had, and specifically on the defense, some of
Wasteful.
those years were wasted. You know, during the Kyle Bowler experiment, and that's why I'm real careful. Let me not say curious. I'm careful when I get a little bit upset. I get my feelings a little bit when I hear people saying the Ravens need to trade Lamar Jackson. For what? You know what I'm saying? You got a two-time MVP. He is clearly one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. This season was not one of his best. The kid was hurt. He had some injuries but he came back. Look at the game he played Sunday. He had the one interception, you know, but look how he played in that fourth quarter. When the money was on the line, somebody stand up right now and tell me Lamar Jackson didn't show up. The guy that everybody said was quitting on his team and he didn't want to be here and he was, you know what I'm saying? Somebody tell me that he didn't show up Sunday night. Somebody make that make sense. You got a legitimate front of the line quarterback in this league. They are not easy to come by. You cannot find great quarterbacks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. No offensive line. Again, it's been a problem all season. It's been a problem all season long. No offensive line, and they were serviceable in the last few games. He didn't get his hit. He didn't get hit as much in the last couple games as he's been getting hit all season. But he's been hit too much for my liking. But for those that say, we need to start over, just trade Lamar. I mean, people be saying like trade Lamar, like you're just gonna find another one. You're just gonna find another quarterback that it just don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer, right? You won a Super Bowl with the greatest defense in the history of the game. You know what I'm saying? You making and the very next year, we did let me get the air quotes, upgraded the quarterback position. We upgraded the quarterback position. And how did that turn out for us? It didn't turn out so well. That man retired after that season. He never played another game down the football after the 2001 season. And he wasn't an old guy. He wasn't an old guy at all. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Pastor. I try. I try. But people are just so quick to throw people away, and I'm telling you. And again, this is another point I made on this show. If y'all watch the Sportsman, you'll walk away from gems from time to time. From not only from myself but my co-host. Fantasy sports has ruined reality for a lot of sports fans. Fantasy sports and like Madden and all that stuff, because you can do stuff in those games that are not reality. You can trade away players on your Madden game, and you can in fantasy football you move around different players and you look at numbers and all this foolishness. The real NFL does not work like that. And again, you trade away a Lamar Jackson. It just think if you drafted the wrong quarterback. How many years did the Ravens organization get set back when they drafted Kyle Bowler in the first round? Did they trade back in the first round to get Kyle Bowler?
I can't recall. I know that was Billick's guy. They picked him somewhere around the 18th or some pick, and he wanted that guy, man, and it was a horrible pick.
How many years did they set the organization back? When you had a prime Ray Lewis,
Yes.
a prime Ed Reed,
Yeah.
a young Haloti Nada. He may have came after Bowler.
Suggs came in.
Suggs was in there a little bit before Bowler.
Yeah.
Maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had top 5 defenses in a quarterback that couldn't get out his own way. And you had viable backups on the bench. You had guys on the bench that could have got the job done. But again, it's not easy to get rid of a quarterback of Lamar Jackson status, whether you like him or not. And some people don't like him for silly reasons. It can't be because of football. You still got people to say he can't throw the football. You still got people that say he's just an athlete that played. You still hear all this foolishness. You can clearly tell that these are people that don't watch the game. You clearly can tell these people really don't watch the game. They just go with the narrative. That was the rumor, Pastor, that Bowler married Billick's daughter. He was his son-in-law or something. That's what the streets were saying.
I remember something about that.
Yeah. That's why he wouldn't bench him. He couldn't face him at Christmas dinner. But make sense out of that. Make sense out of just get rid of Lamar. That's just what needs to happen. That's just foolishness. Never. So with the firing of John Harbaugh, Tony Dungy made a statement. Clearly, Tony Dungy is not in tune with the pulse of the Ravens, and that's the thing too. Why I kind of the national guys, the ESPN guys, I kind of look at them with a grain of salt. They may have some inside information sometimes because they know some of the guys in the locker room, stuff like that, and they may get some inside knowledge. But they don't have a hand on the pulse of the team, like people that are here every day. And we pay more attention to the Ravens than we do the rest of the NFL. And John Harbaugh's seat has been hot for a couple years in the city of Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Outside the city, people look at his record. They look at the Ravens. They go to the playoffs. They win. They got a Super Bowl. They look at those things. But we, again, have the pulse of the team. We look at them fourth quarter losses. We look at the not running Derrick Henry. Not having Derrick Henry touching the ball in the fourth quarter against New England. We look at losing to Buffalo on in the first game of the season or early in the season. We look at these things. We look at these things. Like you say, the fourth quarter losses with Harbaugh. Some of his decision making, some of the challenges that he's made or didn't make over the years. And I think, Dean, you said it. You said it pretty consistently. that, especially in a game against a coach like Mike Tomlin, they already got a 3-point advantage. Just when you're talking coach against coach, you know what I'm saying? And I just think, man, it was time. You know, it was time, and people can, because people that look at stuff on the surface, they're going to look at the record, which this is what people do. They look at what the record is. His record is, you know, he's 180 some wins and 130 some losses. I don't have it directly, but I saw it a little earlier, which is not a bad record for a head coach in the NFL. That's a damn good record for a coach in the NFL. But, you know, record aside, there come a time where you got to move on. The New England Patriots moved on from Bill Belichick, for crying out loud. With all the success that he was a part of in New England, there was a time when they said, you know what, we got to go in a different direction. Everything is not forever. You know, everything is not forever. So it was time for John Harbaugh to move on. He will be a head coach in the NFL if he wants the job, probably within a couple weeks. Probably before the Super Bowl, he'll have a job. He won't be unemployed long, you know. And a man in his position, he get the job he wants. He'll take the interviews that he wants. He'll get the job. He can turn some people away, you know, because I'm sure he has a pulse of the organizations around the league, what organizations are run well, you know, with some of the people in place. He probably has relationships with some of these people, you know, and he probably in a position to want a little more power too, you know, to want a little more say so and maybe the draft picks or the personnel, you know, based off his record and his reputation around the league. So, you know, it's farewell to John Harbaugh after the end of the Ravens season Sunday night. You know, the tough loss to the Steelers. You know, and we never want to lose to those guys, but hey, you lose to the Steelers Sunday night, tough loss. Harbaugh gets relieved of his duties today. Or no, he got fired. Let me stop being nice. He got fired. He got the scissors. He got cut. We moving on. You know, and so I guess, like you say, the next few days we're gonna start hearing the names of all the hot assistant coaches and, you know, the next man up type of deal. I would like to see from, let alone whoever the head coach is, Eric DeCosta got to do a better job too. You know, his seat got to be a little warm too. You know what I'm saying? Because, like we've been mentioning, Pastor Hancock mentioned, you know, the offensive line was horrible. You got to get protection on Lamar Jackson. He was getting hit way too much this year. And you got to get some pass rush. And that's something we talked about Sunday. You got to get some pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And he had too much time Sunday to make plays, and he made plays when they needed him. You know, he was clean. I think they sacked him maybe once. They didn't pressure him enough, in my opinion. You know, he's getting the ball out quick. And even some of the lapses in play on the defense, the defensive backfield, some of the lapses in play there. I was listening to Rod Woodson, part of the game. You know, he does the radio for the Ravens. Hall of Fame defensive back, cornerback, safety. He's a Hall of Famer. And he's saying things about the coverage. Well, you know, why are they playing this? Or why are they doing that? And again, he's up in the booth. And I don't know if you ever listened to the radio while during the game, but he sounded real agitated with what he was saying, you know, just coverage wise. And he's like, well, and he calling these dudes by name, you know, why did this guy do that? Well, why is he playing this coverage? Or why is he playing this whatever? When all you gotta do is this. And it's like, we need a coordinator. And a lot of that, he was directing a lot of his anger toward the coordinator, because the coordinator is calling the plays. he's calling the plays, and that way, I guess that way that puts them in the positions that they need to be in, or the coverages that they need to be in. And anybody that know me, Zach Orr should have been out of here in October. I stand on that. I stand on that. I just didn't think, and he had issues last year on the playoff team, but he struggled last year, and they called in Dean Pease midway through the season to come in and kind of be a help to him, and I just I don't know, man. He's a young guy, he's a young coach, so I'm sure he'll get an opportunity to be on the staff somewhere and kind of cut his teeth a little more. But I just wasn't a fan of him being defensive coordinator, and I felt like the defense probably underachieved under his leadership in the last 2 seasons. And that's just my opinion on Zach Orr. But what you got on Zach Orr, or just coaching overall?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say that really everything that's going on with the Ravens, to me, is all about Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. And, to me, this was Lamar's most difficult season. It was his grittiest season because the man was hurt the whole time. He was never fresh from injuries. He was going through some pretty heavy injuries, his legs, his toe, his knee, his hamstring, his back. I mean, the man had a lot of injuries, and he hung in there, and we could tell that the man was not healthy. Yeah. And there's so much discussions about Lamar Jackson, a lot of blame thrown at this guy, talking about trading him. I mean, the man was a 2-time MVP. Now, when Lamar Jackson was 2-time MVP, the first time, the man led the league in touchdown passes, along with leading the league, all quarterbacks in rushing, breaking the NFL rushing record. Yeah. I mean, there's no quarterback who has ever done anything like that. When he won his first MVP. Then he turned around and won a second MVP, which was another incredible season for Lamar Jackson. And he should have won a third, because his third, the season they gave it to the guy in Buffalo, he put up phenomenal numbers. I think it was like 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Some ridiculous numbers. So you're looking at a guy who's a generational talent, who can run the ball, who can throw the ball, and he has led the Ravens. They should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. But a fumble at the half-yard line by Zay Flowers killed that.
Yep.
They should have beat the Buffalo Bills. But Mark Andrews did not catch the ball, and we all know the story with that. They should have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Luke missed the field goal. So you're talking about a MVP, 2-time MVP quarterback in Lamar Jackson, where there was 3 opportunities in these huge games that Lamar put his cape on, and the Ravens should have won, but we had some other players fall short to keep this man from moving this franchise to that next level and taking him to the next level. You see that John Harbaugh gets fired in a season where Lamar Jackson is hurt throughout the season. Mm-hmm. You see that John Harbaugh's job was saved on my man's rookie season. Harbaugh was on his way out the door, and Lamar saved his job by coming in with the phantom injury to Flacco, and he come in, and the Ravens make the playoffs, and this guy saves his job.
Yep.
He says Harbaugh job. So what's happening with the Ravens, whether you like Lamar Jackson or not, it is all about Lamar Jackson. He is that guy.
Yes.
Number 8 is that guy. And for anybody who wants to see him traded, it's something going on that's not right there. If something is going on that's not right. All of these losses is not his blame.
No.
And what you saw in that Pittsburgh game was a guy who was playing hurt and willed this team to victory. And Luke didn't get it done. Kudos to Lamar Jackson, man. Kudos to Lamar.
And let's not forget the play before the 4th down, throw to Likely. The throw to Hopkins. The Hopkins was just standing there. He just stood there. I think Lamar waving him to go. If he took off and Lamar floated that thing out to him, there's nothing in front of him. There's nothing in front of him. And he stood there afterwards because I think he knew. Like, that was the opportunity right there. That was the shot.
Miscommunication, big time.
Yep. Shout out to Derek Lewis, former, University of Maryland. He
Derek Lewis online?
Haven't tuned in lately.
Right.
Haven't tuned in lately, but shout out to Derek Lewis. And then, Derek, we know Derek Lewis is a Steelers fan. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I just remember him blocking shots down in Maryland. He a Steeler guy?
Yeah, he's a Steelers fan, man.
Woo.
But shout out to the Steelers. I'll give y'all props tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Derek Lewis, one of my favorite Terps.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Pleasure watching that guy. And another big blow, man, in that Steeler game, man, was the injury to Kyle Hamilton.
Oh man,
that was so huge, man, to lose that guy. Kyle was making all the plays.
Oh man, hey, listen,
he was making all the plays, man.
He is what you call the real deal.
Right.
Kyle Hamilton is one of them ones, man.
He's that guy, man.
He is legit. Right in the mold of all the Ravens great players. Right in the mold of all the Come on, Big Derek. We know you're a Steelers fan, brother. I'm giving you props.
He wanted to be an undercover Steeler fan. No, Derek, man, look, we love you, man. All that stuff you did in Maryland, you all right. You all right. You a Steeler fan.
You all right with the sports mix. You good with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And see, you a PG guy. I don't get on you. I don't get on you like I do my cousin-in-law. He's born up here somewhere. I don't know how he became a Steelers.
What you feel about the Commanders, Derek? What's up with the Commanders? You're a Commander fan?
He said he's been a Steelers fan since '73.
Wow.
Back to the electric football set. See now you taking it back.
He back when Terry Bradshaw and Franco Harris and all them boys was there.
Franco, he a real Steelers fan.
Right, from way back.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. That's what's up.
Yeah, that Kyle Hamilton thing, man, was bad news, man. It was bad news. And because if you can imagine if Kyle was on the field, because the Ravens really needed to make one play at different points, in that fourth quarter. If they could have made a play, the game could have been over. And but man, Kyle, man, yeah, Sandy, you right on point. Once Kyle left, man. And I didn't even see what you call make any plays, man. The middle linebacker.
Yeah, you're right.
I ain't remember his name even being called.
I didn't hear his name. I didn't hear his name much.
I didn't hear his name a lot, man, in that game.
Derek said he used to like the Redskins when they had Doug Williams in the Fun Bunch.
Yeah.
That was good times.
That was good times.
Down there in D.C.
That's
what they was winning.
They spanked Denver in the Super Bowl back then.
Yeah, that's back there when they was winning.
John Elway and the Broncos. They spanked them.
I just watched John Elway's documentary. I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And he talked about his whole ride, but he talked about that game in particular.
Yeah.
Went up 10-0, feeling really good, and looked up in halftime. They was down 35-10.
Yeah. It went quick too.
I mean, like you blink your eye.
That second quarter, and they had 30 up on the board, 35 up on the board. So
If
quick.
you remember the first play of the game, he threw a bomb for a touchdown. It looked like they was ready to get the Redskins out of there. And old Joe Gibbs and them said, "Not today,
Yeah.
not today, buddy." Yeah, Kyle, that was a huge loss. Kyle coming out that field was huge, man.
Yeah, that was big, man. That was really big. And yeah, Lamar tried to do it, and really, man, Kyle Hamilton is a legitimate superstar. I mean, when you just rate the team, man, you got Lamar Jackson on offense, you got Kyle Hamilton on defense. You can throw Derrick Henry in the mix, but I'm telling you, man, that guy Kyle Hamilton, he is the real deal. He is the real deal, and like you say, he's already up there in my book, man, with the Ravens legend. He's got a spot up there on that wall up there
without question.
At the bank.
Without question, he is definitely going to be one of them.
Yes.
And if he, like you say, he keep it up,
healthy, he's a Hall of Famer. He's Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's that good.
He's that good.
Now, I've been hearing for the last few months, I guess, the injury to Matta BK could be career ending.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Which, you got Matta BK up front, Kyle Hamilton, Roman. He's playing like a hybrid position. He kind of like a linebacker, safety. He kind of do whatever you need him to do. That's going to be a huge loss if he's not able to come back. Not a football guru, but they have the ball. Derrick Henry early in the season. I don't think Lamar has all those injuries. Yeah, you're right. Ravens lost confidence in Henry when he fumbled early. Stop giving him the ball and use Lamar as much as running. You're right. You're right. You're right. That again, you talking about a team that started off 1-5. And a lot of those losses, they just looked out of sync. They just didn't look in sync at all early on. And then Lamar went out early with the injury, and it just got real bad. The defense just looked horrible. So I'm glad that now. Of course, I wanted to go to the playoffs. I wanted to see the team get to the playoffs. We always want to go to the playoffs. But now, we kind of gonna get a fresh start. Because again, like you said, Dean, as Harbaugh goes, Zach Orr's going, Monken is gonna be gone. So you're gonna get a new head coach in here. He's gonna bring his own staff. And I just hope, as part of the interview process, man, is that somebody that comes in here with some imagination of how to utilize Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and the other tight end, that number 88. I can't think of his name. Hey, Pastor, you hitting it tonight. A new start. While he's on the line, for those that are tuning in, if you need a new start, come on down to Hamilton Avenue. Pastor, put the address in the chat for me, so I can plug you. I know it's on Hamilton, right off Harford Road. But if you need a new start, Sunday, 10:45. As Pastor say, he like to see the game too, so he'll have you out of there before kickoff Sunday afternoon. Come in there, come on, get you a fresh start, get you a new start with the New Start family, New Start Church in Northeast Baltimore on Hamilton Avenue. So, if you need a new start. 3027 Hamilton Avenue. Let me start at 3027 Hamilton Avenue, right off Harford Road in Northeast Baltimore. Get that new start. Pastor Jonathan Hancock. Wait a minute. Let me Pastor Jonathan David Hancock. Make sure I get him his proper. give him his full, and then Sister Sandy put the address in the chat as well. 3027 Hamilton Avenue for everybody that's looking for a new start.
And you can tell that Pastor Hancock is a huge Ravens fan. You can tell by the substance of his comments that he's making. He knows what he's talking about because he's a huge fan and he's been watching. And also Sister Sandy, they dropping some gems.
Oh yeah,
comments. Absolutely.
Yeah, we talk little Ravens after church.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, before we get to the game, we what you think? You know, we share a little bit, and they tell me they watching the sports mix as well. So you know, much appreciated from my church family. Appreciate y'all. You know, well again, if you need that new start, you're looking for a church home, even if you just want to visit, come by and visit and check things out. You might find yourself not wanting to leave. You know, we'll stop in to see Pastor Jonathan David Hancock and the New Start family. Sundays, 10:45, and you know, he'll get you out of there by 12. You can be able to get to brunch, you know, wherever it is y'all go on Sundays after church. You know, beat the older crowd that they don't get out of church to 1:30, 2 o'clock. So you know, you get out there a little early. Let me stop. Let me stop. Yeah, so you know, again, man, it's a new start in Baltimore with the Ravens. You know, Harbaugh's gone, so we're gonna have a whole new staff up there. You know, head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. There you go. 10:45, 11:45 only. There you go. 60 minutes. 60 minutes and get you in and out, and you're gonna get what you need. You're gonna get what you need while you're in there. Yep. Appreciate you tuning in, Pastor.
You call it a power hour.
Power hour for sure. For sure. And treat you like family. You come in and feel like you're at home. You know. But yeah, I definitely you know, anytime you get an opportunity to start fresh, you know, whether it's a new job, whether you get a new car, whether you get a new house. Remember as a kid when you got some new shoes, you got some new sneakers, you felt like you could run faster, you could jump higher, and you just felt like you was on top of the world. You know, this is how things are going to be. I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in, Pastor. This is where we at right now. We great get some new shoes. We great get a new car. You know, in the driveway. You know, and I hope that they hit a home run with this next coach. And one thing that I can say about the Ravens organization, they haven't missed. You know, they haven't missed. You know, I think this is they've had 3 coaches in their 30 years, 31 years here. Marcia Broder was brought in. He was a veteran coach. He was kind of brought in to kind of, you know, just to get the ball rolling. You know, he was a veteran. He was familiar with the NFL. He could navigate the NFL, you know, kind of as the team was in transition from Cleveland to Baltimore, becoming basically a what you call it, expansion team. You know, started over. They left the colors in Cleveland. They kind of basically started the roster over. They brought a few guys from Cleveland, but they didn't bring a lot of the Cleveland roster with them. You know, so you had a lot of change there. And he was here for what, 3 years? The first 2 or 3 years he was the head coach here.
And another thing was he was an ex Baltimore head coach, where during some of the glory years with Burt Jones, Roger Carr, and those teams. So it was a nice transition to have Marcia Broda as Ravens' first coach.
Yep. And he was familiar with the city and the football atmosphere in Baltimore. So again, he served his purpose here as the first head coach of the Baltimore Ravens organization. The next hire, Brian Billick, he came in with a lot of fanfare as the offensive guy. And, he was coming from Minnesota, where they had Randy Moss and Randall Cunningham and Chris
Carter.
and them boys out there, man. Jake Reed, they was putting up some numbers. Robert Smith in the backfield. They putting up big numbers up there in Minnesota, and Brian Billick was looked upon as an offensive genius, and they thought, man, we're gonna get Brian Billick, and we're gonna put up numbers like Minnesota.
We had the defense.
He didn't bring Randall Cunningham and Randy Moss and Chris Carter with him. He had to leave them guys behind in Minnesota, and we learned very quickly, if you pay attention, that you can be as great a coach as you think you are, but a lot of the times it's the players.
We have a quarterback.
Who was
the quarterback?
Randall Cunningham, or when he came to the Ravens?
When Billick got here.
Oh man,
we had Tony Banks.
Tony Banks was the guy when he first got here. Tony Banks.
Trent Dilfer was on that team.
Trent Dilfer came in, and Tony Banks could put some numbers up. I don't want to get that. I don't want to lose that. Tony Banks could put up some numbers. Tony Banks wasn't the guy that you could depend on when the money was on the line.
No.
You know what I'm saying? When the money was on the line, he was going to do something that, he's just like, come on, man. And I could use some colorful language to describe how I felt at some of them times when Tony Banks was the quarterback. And again, we pulling for him. We pulling for Tony. We pulling for the Ravens. And but you're talking Tony Banks and Trent Dilfer. And then we go to Gerbach. Sage the Alchemist. Welcome to the show. Ravens fan from California.
Okay. Cali in the house.
Cali in the building on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button over there. Sage the Alchemist.
So I guess we had some tears being shed over there in Cali Sunday night.
Yeah. So Sage say we need to build the defense, which is all facts.
Absolutely.
Starting with the defensive line.
Great facts.
Start up front and get some pass rush.
And did you notice the poor tackling just drive me nuts, man.
Tackling is horrendous.
Horrendous, man.
Horrendous, man.
I mean, what the heck?
Tackling is horrendous.
It is terrible.
I saw, again, I'm in here watching this thing, and I'm sure my neighbor's like, man, I ain't never heard him talk like that. I never heard him use that kind of language because I was loud, number one.
Close your ear, Pastor. Go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead, finish, Kenny.
I was loud because I was into the game, and I rarely am like that when I watch a game. I'm pretty a mellow type guy anyway. I don't get too excited.
Yeah.
But again, you've been on the sideline with me.
I know. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't have been surprised at all.
You've been on the sideline with me, so
we were shoulder to shoulder. So I've already seen that,
man,
a few times.
Yeah, and Ed Reed and Ray Lewis days were
right. Those days, man. Yeah,
man. But I was in here, and I was into the game, and I got loud a couple of times, and man, it was tough. It was just tough to lose like that. Like you say, with the tackling. I mean, They couldn't get off the field on third downs.
Get off the field, man.
You know, which you have to get off the field on third. That you got to get stops on third down. You have to get stops on third down, and just like you said, this defense is just they just give up plays. They give up big plays at just crucial times in games, man. When you need a stop, you make good defensive stands on first and second down. You get them third and long, where it's in your favor. Everything is in your favor, and then somebody has a defensive lapse, or they missing tackles.
No pressure.
No pressure on the quarterback. You know, it just, oh man, it was a tough game to watch.
It was.
It was a tough game to watch, especially the way that it ended. You know, especially the way that it ended. But again, now we are in a reorganization. We're not rebuilding. So let's not throw that out there. You know, we are reorganizing right now. So it's you know, you're gonna find out, because again, the head coach, and see, I'm not a guy too, right? I don't get caught up in you bring in a head coach, he gotta be like a offensive genius, or he gotta be a defensive genius. I want a head coach that understands football and understands football players and understands situation and knows when to make moves, you know, knows when to run the ball when on a passing down, knows when to pass the ball on the run. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's gonna think outside the box that way. You know, I want that guy. So if he's an offensive genius, you know what I'm saying? So be it. But I don't want somebody to come in here with that label and then we expect the offense to throw up 40 points a game and all this foolishness. And the defense is still some crap. You know, the some blame the defensive coordinator. Yeah, I blame him. Derek, I blame him.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he definitely catch some heat from me. And I've said it probably the third time tonight. He should have been gone in October. You know, I said it back then. He should have been gone in October. He should have his office should have been packed up after that Houston loss. That loss to Houston here in Baltimore. He should have been packed up that night and shown the door. You know, matter of fact, by the time they got back from Owens Mills, from M&T Stadium, his stuff should have been out on whatever that road is that lead up to the castle there. You know, that they should have had him out of there then. But that's me. You know,
one of them guys from Houston, after they scored, he was in the end zone doing the Ray Lewis dance. I would have fired Zach Orr right there. Instantly.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, Zach Orr definitely takes some of the blame. And that may be a thing too, that he was a young coach. He not even 40 years old. He's still in his 30s. Young 30s at that.
Yeah.
You know, he's a young guy. Again, man, he had a career-ending injury because he was a solid player when he was on the Ravens. He had an injury that ended his career early, and you know, he had got into coaching and worked his way up the system and became the DC. You know, so I congratulate him on that. You know, working his way through the system and whatever he did. You know, again, I don't know what that process was for him. You know, I know he was on the staff here and he got an opportunity to become the defensive coordinator. Now I was pulling for him. You know, I was pulling for him to be successful. But, you know, of course, that just didn't happen for him here. And I hope that his coaching career is not over. You know, I hope he still gets an opportunity to coach somewhere else. But it just didn't work out for him here in Baltimore with the Ravens, you know. And so that's just it, you know, it's time, man. We're making changes here. We're gonna have a new head coach. We're gonna have new offensive coordinator. We're gonna have new defensive coordinator. You know, Eric DeCosta has to do his job. You know, he's got to bring in some players, starting with defensive line and offensive line. You got to get the line straight. You got to get the line straight. You got to protect Lamar. You got to protect the franchise. And on defense, you got to get pressure on the quarterbacks, and you got to make tackles. You got to be able to tackle. And that's been an Achilles heel of this team. Like we said, they couldn't get off the field on third down. They couldn't get off the field on third downs in crucial spots. They didn't put any pressure on Aaron Rodgers Sunday. He was a little too comfortable for my liking. He was able to make plays when they needed him to. So Eric DaCosta is on the clock as well. He's his in my opinion, and we've talked about him here over the last few weeks and the job that he's done. With not showing up that offensive line over the last few years. When you make the investment into a Lamar Jackson, part of that investment should be we got to make sure that he's taken care of. We got to make sure the investment is taken care of. And from my perspective, and I know Dean has made some very good points on that. They didn't do a good enough job taking care of Lamar Jackson with the people up front. So that needs to happen. Lamar Jackson is due $70-some million over the next 2 years. So it's clear that he's gonna have to restructure the deal. Which, again, and I said this here too. Lamar Jackson is in a great position right now. He knows the team needs him to restructure that deal so they can save some cap money, so they can go out and do some things. So Lamar Jackson is in a great position from a negotiating standpoint. What are you guys going to do for me? Who are you going to bring in here to protect me? I think he has some solid weapons. Zay Flowers and Lamar have a great chemistry. Zay had another 1,000-yard receiving season. Zay will make a mistake here and there, but he's a pretty dynamic young receiver. I like Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews re-signed. Likely, I think, is going to be on the move. When they re-signed Andrews, I felt like that was the coffin in Likely's the nail in his coffin. That's I think so. I don't know if they're can afford Likely after they re-sign Andrews as a tight end. Far as wide receivers, I don't know that they bring Hopkins back. I think he's only on a 1-year deal. You got the young guys, Wester. You got a couple young guys. Wester was primarily a special team guy this year. The guy Walker, Tez Walker. He I think they said he had 7 receptions and 4 of them was touchdowns.
Yeah.
This year. So he's a big receiver. So he could come
fast.
and he'll make some improvements.
He run a 4.3.
Yeah. So he's a big guy and he's fast. Number 7, Bateman. Bateman. I like Bateman. But again, I just think, man, that with Lamar being under pressure like he was this season, some of them guys didn't have the seasons that they probably thought they could have had or should have had. And a lot of it was just due to Lamar not being 100% and not really having the time to make things happen back there. So offensive line is a big need, and defensive line. Again, if you can't pressure the quarterback, defensive backs can't cover for 30 seconds. They can't cover, you can't have them back there on islands because somebody's going to lose contain. Somebody's going to lose coverage. It's just going to happen. You can't cover for that long. These are professional wide receivers, And when you look at the tandem in Cincinnati, that's in the division with Higgins and what's his name, number 1. I mean, they got to be the number 1 wide receiver tandem in the league, and they rarely make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And let me ask you this: Is anybody calling for Cincinnati to trade Joe Burrow?
I did hear some questions to Joe whether he wanted to remain in Cincinnati, because a lot of folks are thinking that his career is being wasted with the Cincinnati Bengals. Although they did make it to a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, they made it to a Super Bowl.
But after that, a lot hasn't happened there for him and for the Bengals. So yeah,
We can't forget they are the Bengals.
they are the Bengals. Yeah.
Let's not lose sight of that. They are the Bengals. And they're gonna do Bengal-like things. And they got one of the cheapest owners in ownership history.
Right.
So he's liable to trade that guy before he decides to walk away.
Yeah. And man, it's like as heartbreaking as the loss was to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it breaks your heart a little bit more just because it was the Steelers.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about that. It's the greatest rivalry over the last decade and a half, last couple of decades. The Steelers and Ravens has been the greatest rivalry in football. And that game Sunday night, let us know that it's still the greatest rivalry in football. What a great game. But we lost that game. But I think if we look at the bigger picture and we look at the future, it's probably good that we lost that game. And I think that if Lamar being Superman had pulled that game out, obviously we would have had a playoff game and Harbaugh would have still been coach. And if for some reason the Ravens wound up beating Houston and Harbaugh still a coach, he might have stuck around and stayed with the team. So the fact that they did lose that game, it made Bisciotti pull the plug on Harbaugh. So I think that that's probably a good thing. And I think the pastor biblically, talked about the seasons. And so when you think about that happening, now you see the Ravens will get the 14th overall pick. Now the Ravens won't have to wait a week or two. If they decided to still fire Harbaugh, they don't have to wait another week because other teams are going to be in these guys' ears. So the position is out there. Yeah. And it is clearly one of the most coveted positions in the NFL, to be the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. That is, to me, the most coveted position out there right now. This is a team that is, like you said, Coach, it's not a rebuild, and I just call it a reset. It's a reset where you still have your standard, your players that's going to be there. You got the Lamar Jacksons and the Kyle Hamiltons and the Derrick Henrys and these guys, Zay Flowers, they're going to be there. We know they're going to be there. So you have the foundational players there. So I think that the fact that we lost, it helps us moving forward. It helps us get that draft pick. It helps us hurry up and get that coach on board. And we can look to the future. And I think the future will be bright as long as number 8 is healthy. And we're looking forward to him coming back next year healthy. And when Lamar Jackson is healthy, this whole team is better. The defense is better. The offense is better. The offense is better, but the defense is also better because the offense is better. So it's all about Lamar Jackson in my mind.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And again, I see people people I have conversations with, for whatever reason, they got to point the finger at Lamar for whatever reason, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But again, if I'm a coach and I got a Lamar Jackson, I feel like I got a shot. I feel like I got a shot. And Coach, I'm gonna call you Coach. I made mention of your championship and your near touchdown run
That's right. That's right. That was about 90 yards too, man.
Yeah, you took it to the house.
90 yards, man.
To the house.
Right.
But again, you know, you had the young man you had at quarterback. You know, did you make that call?
Yeah, I was in there. I was in there making calls.
You called the play.
I was in there making the
Again,
calls.
you understood the time. You understood the situation that you were in. You understood that because there wasn't much time left in the clock, right?
We was down, man. We was at the 10-yard line, and it wasn't much time left in the game.
Hey, I know it was fourth quarter, and I know that the time was running out, and you got to go 90 yards.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, I've been in the huddle with you, so I know.
Mm-hmm.
But man, to make the call that you made at the time you made it, and for it to go, I mean, you have to have extreme confidence that those kids are going to execute what you need at this moment. And you make the call as the coach. You make the call with extreme confidence. This is what I'm calling. This is the situation. Run like your life depended on it. I don't know what you said to him.
Knowing the talent, and you know we knew the talent.
Yeah, you know the talent, and but as the person that made the call, is you looking in there, you looking around that huddle, and you know this is my best option. And you had a couple of options in that huddle.
Absolutely.
You had a couple of options, a couple of ways you could have went, but that was the call. And I mean, I remember watching that like it was yesterday, you know. And just for clarity, we're not talking like we was on the NFL level.
No, not at all.
So what I'm saying is,
but the principles are still the same.
Principles, right? The principles of coaching is that, you know, when money is on the line as a coach, you know, I'm a current coach right now, and when situations arise, and I look down that bench, and you know, say my best player is fouled out of the game, and I need somebody to make something happen, and you look down the bench, and you don't see somebody that you got confidence in, that's tough. But you still gotta talk to them kids with confidence, like, hey, we can do this. We can do this. You know what I'm saying? And again, in that situation, you was able to look in that kid's eyes in that huddle and say, hey, we great win this game. And this is the play, and we're gonna execute it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Again.
What was the other coach name?
Rock.
Rock. Yeah, and you know the thing is that Rock had made a substitution before that play, and him and the assistant coach was out there bickering a little bit to each other because the assistant coach was telling him to put that guy on the line and don't put him out there on that corner.
Yeah.
But I sat there and watched the whole bit, and he put the guy on the corner, just brought him out. I don't even know what the substitution was about at a time like that. But I ran that play right at that guy that they substituted. and he took it 90 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he took me 90 yards right with him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you definitely was right there with him.
I was right there running with him. Somebody had that on footage. Somebody filmed it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I think that was one of the Joneses.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
That was a classic.
That's a classic. You know. And again, you know, we not talking like we Ravens head coaches or nothing like that. You know, because I know somebody gonna be, man, look at this. They talk like they, you know, stop it.
No.
Stop it. Cut it out. Hey, shout out to let me, I won't mess his name up. Shout out to Sage, you know, for subscribing to the Sports Mix on
yeah. Sage, the Alchemist.
It's the Alchemist out there in Cali.
Yes, sir.
You still watching? What part of California are you tuning in from?
Still there. I like that name.
Sage the Alchemist sound like he might be a rapper or something.
Say he's the alchemist.
or entertainer at least.
Something.
You know what you got going on, man. Let me plug what you got going on. Let me give you a shout out. Appreciate you for tuning in and for subscribing out there in Cali and spread the word out there. You know, tell your people out there in Cali, check out the Sports Mix. You know, we trying to expand our wings.
Absolutely.
Get on over there to the left coast. You know.
Wow. John Harbaugh fired.
Harbaugh is gone.
Wow.
Harbaugh is gone, man. You know, you remember, all of the comments we've been getting over the years about Harbaugh need to go. We've been doing this 4 years.
Right.
It's been pretty consistent.
Day
Harbaugh got to go. Harbaugh got to go.
Right.
Harbaugh got to go. Well, he's gone now.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that folks were wrong for wanting him gone in the previous few seasons. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I just didn't think that the justification was there where Bisciotti was going to fire him based on what was happening. I just didn't think it was there. But I knew for this season that enough things were happening to this Ravens franchise that there was enough justification for Bisciotti to make that call, and he did.
Yeah, it was time.
It was time.
So
and I'm not a fan of Eric DeCosta either. I'm not a big fan of that guy either.
And he got to be on the clock.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time he got on the clock, but I know that his job has got to be. It got to be some serious discussion going over there.
Yeah.
About the job he's done, because I'm sure at the end of every season there's some evaluation. There's an evaluation process where you come in there and you have a sit down with whoever. I'm assuming the Costa report directly to what's his name? Bisciotti.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna have a conversation.
Look, whatever Bisciotti did, I don't know how he handled it. Whether he called the GM, because Eric DeCosta is John Harbaugh's direct supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Is my understanding, and I'm sure that DeCosta had some perspiration popping up out that bald ass head of his when Bisciotti called them in or contacted them about this. I'm sure, and it's probably still there now.
Yeah,
because maybe Bisciotti ain't done, but I think DeCosta is going to have to do a much better job. I'm not thrilled with the job that he's done. We talked about that offensive line fiasco and how to handle that, and even some of the players, man. I mean, it's almost like the Ravens ain't got no dogs on defense, man. It's like where they at? Like,
Hamilton is it,
right? Hamilton is it, man. I mean,
the only dog.
You can give Travis Jones is decent, Hamilton, and I mean. Starks look soft to me during the season. He's not a strong tackler. Wiggins, he's not a strong tackler. 44. He's getting up there, and he was getting juked, and I mean, this team. There was so many yards after contact with Warren and 14 and 14 just coming out of the backfield. I mean, that's a guy that you gotta cover. Come on, Zach Orr.
Yeah.
That's one of their main guys. They did not have DK Metcalf. So they were limited. And you look at the other players, and number 14, Gainwell, is one of their big guys. You should have somebody on him to limit, it's just I think all of those things came into play when Bisciotti was looking at this. He's looking at Harbaugh handling his coordinators, and I don't think that Harbaugh really handled Zach Orr that well because the defense did not perform all year. They never got it together. Yeah, they had that one shutout and maybe played another couple of games okay, but throughout the course of the year, in the fourth quarter, even when we had comfortable leads, teams were able to shred our defense at will.
Yeah.
And you can't survive. And the Ravens were not going to go far in the playoffs with a defense that cannot put pressure on quarterbacks.
No.
And that makes the secondary look worse than what it probably really is.
Yep.
So you're not going far in the playoffs if you can't put pressure on the quarterback. And the Ravens could not put pressure on the quarterback
At all. So AKA Fred 7073 is checking in on YouTube. Asks, what do we think about giving 5-time Super Bowl champion Steve Magnola a look as, a head coach? I know he had an opportunity. He was the head coach of what? The Giants?
Where is he at now?
I think he with Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think he's with Kansas City.
Yeah.
Again, I don't get too caught up in the hot coaches. I just want the guys to come in here with a plan. Like, part of that interview process is coming in with a game plan. You got a Lamar Jackson. Again, one of the greatest players in the league right now. And you got some weaponry on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, he's the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs, yeah.
And Pastor Hancock said it again. He been hitting it out the park tonight. Nobody fears our defense like before. That's facts.
He's 66 years old, Spagnuolo.
66.
Yeah.
That will be my only, again, and I don't want to get, the ageism.
Right.
But again, is he up for it at 66? Right. Is he up for it?
Yeah.
But again, I know he had an opportunity to be a head coach. He was the head coach of the Giants, I believe, back a few years ago. And he never got he hadn't got another opportunity since. I don't know what that was about, why he didn't get another opportunity to be a head coach in the league. Is he content just being a coordinator at this point?
Right.
No, I don't know. But AKA Fred, he had a bad run as head coach with the Giants. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's been a few years ago. But he's been a coordinator pretty much. And he was an Andy Reid guy anyway.
Yeah.
He was an Andy Reid guy. So he got back with Andy Reid and they found some success up there in Kansas City. And again, I don't know what the thought process is for the Ravens with respect to the next head coach. What is it that they're looking for? What is it? What what is the makeup of the next head coach of the Ravens? What is it that they're looking for? Are they looking for a young guy, a young enthusiastic guy, a disciplinarian type of coach? Like, I don't know what it is that they're looking for. And I'm sure in the next weeks, once we start seeing the candidates that they bring in for interviews, you kind of get a feel for what it is they might be looking for from a head coach's standpoint. I just want somebody that can come in here and can, just maintain and be the motivator and do all the things that you want your head coach to do, but put a staff together that's able to utilize the weapons that we have. And then again, Eric DeCosta got to put the right pieces around so that the coaches can be successful. And I think he undervalued both lines, the offensive and defensive lines. I just think he didn't do a good enough job filling the void that were left. And you made a great point on one of our previous shows of some of the guys that he just let walk in the last couple of seasons, man. He was letting starters go.
Starters. Three of them in one all season. 3 starters. He let go.
AKA Fred, so I think they need to get someone that they can feel can win big games.
Win big games, yeah.
Specs, pedigree, playoff experience, Super Bowl experience. I think the locker room will respect 5 rings. Yeah.
And they say that Spagnuolo already they saying that the Tennessee Titans already has reached out to Kansas City to talk, and the Giants. So obviously there's some teams looking at him.
Yeah.
And this whole coaching thing is really going to be interesting for the Ravens since I mean they're out there. You got Harbaugh out there. You got some of these coordinators, Spagnuolo, because Kansas City didn't have a great year. So it looks like maybe they might be making some changes over there. I don't know. So this is going to be a really, really big off season as far as head coaching goes.
Yeah. Yep. AKA Fred, thanks for tuning in, man. I don't know where you're tuning in from, but you should hit that subscribe button over there on YouTube. Appreciate you and appreciate your comments and your feedback.
Absolutely. Great comments. Great comments.
Sure. Appreciate it, man.
And
I appreciate the subscription, man. I do appreciate that.
And you know, Big Ken, that when we play Kansas City, they always seem to play us pretty tough.
Yeah.
You know, and Spagnuolo is part of that, you know.
Yeah, big part of it.
You know, it's a lot of names being tossed around. I think it was Pastor Hancock threw out Rex Ryan. A lot of people like Rex Ryan, you know.
And he threw out Rex Ryan and
what's the guy? Brian
Flores.
Flores
Up there in Minnesota.
Up in Minnesota, defensive coordinator. Yeah. What about the boy down there? What about our guy down there in Carolina?
Who's that?
On the college level. He down there is the head coach right now.
Ooh, Belichick?
You think there'd be any interest in Belichick?
Ooh.
So
just based off of his name and reputation. And I, for one, I think Belichick is an NFL head coach.
I think so too.
I don't think he belongs in college.
No, I don't think.
Especially the landscape of college football now. You know, with this NIL and all this stuff. I think Belichick is an NFL guy.
Right.
And again, and he's a little older. He's an older guy. Is he somebody that you want to bring in here long term? You know, because I think when you hire a coach, you kind of, you don't look, well, we just gonna bring him in for 5 years and then we gonna go in another direction. I think you kind of bring a guy in to want him to be here for like a John Harbaugh 15, 18 years with some success, of course.
Right.
You know, with some success. Yeah, Spags be giving Josh Allen fits too.
Yeah. He's been giving a whole lot of people fits, man. And you know, and I think based on what we've seen from Bisciotti with the hiring of and you know, I think it was Art Modell who brought in Marcia Broda.
Mm-hmm.
But and maybe it was Marcia Broda who brought in Billick.
It was not Marcia Broda brought in Billick. Are you talking about
I mean Modell.
Yeah, Modell hired Brian Billick.
He brought Brian Billick, and so and we know with the hiring of Harbaugh, you know, by Bisciotti, the age of Harbaugh at that time, I think he was probably in his early 40s, maybe. I you know, for him to be around for 18 years, so we looking at Bisciotti and you know maybe a Belichick or Spagnuolo when it comes to age might not be his type of hire.
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't got a lot to go on. He only had one hire, and it was Harbaugh. But we know that he took a chance on Harbaugh. I guess Harbaugh impressed him when he was only a special teams coach, and he's been here for a long time. So that stability has been in the Ravens and in their front office with Ozzie going over to Eric DeCosta, and DeCosta been here for a long time, and Ozzie's still here in a sense.
Yeah.
So
he's still in the room.
Yeah, he's still in the room. So, so I'm thinking that Bisciotti is going to go for a coach probably in their 40s or maybe even late 30s or something like that. I think the age thing might be a reason for him not to go for a Spagnuolo or a Belichick. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We don't know. We just speculate.
Fred, aka Fred, you know, hit on that we talked about the drafting well. Improving the pass rush. Which is something that we've been talking about
Yeah.
all year. We've been talking about that all season, man. The pass rush that needs to stop. The Costa don't draft well, trade him first and go get Max Crosby. And I know Crosby is on the block.
Right.
He's on the block out there in Las Vegas. It just depends on what they want to get him. What do they want? What do we have to give up to get him? Would you, is he? What year is Crosby in?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what his how long he's been around. But he's still very productive, and he's in a situation in Vegas where, they fired their coach after 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how many head coaches he's played for out there. And he probably looking to move, and he probably looking to move to a situation where he's gonna have an opportunity to win something. So again, I don't know what his situation is, but he would look pretty good in purple.
Yeah.
On that end. And you're right, aka Fred. We value draft picks, and you're right about that. And again, we've been talking about Eric DeCosta for the last about 2-3 months here. We was talking about DeCosta here before it was popular. When everybody else was talking about firing Harbaugh, we was talking about the draft pick. And some of the players that he missed on, and some of the players that he didn't re-sign, or the ones that he let go. So we we definitely been on Eric DeCosta's head around here. We definitely not letting him get off that easy. The fact that Trump lost the Nobel Peace Prize to a person who was fighting to remove Maduro, and then he does it, is the most ironic burn to the Trump hating world ever. Lifetime. I don't know what that got to do with the Ravens football, but whatever. I guess you a Trump guy.
To a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is some news out there right now. I don't even want to go into that because
yeah, this is the wrong one. We ain't gonna do the politics there, buddy.
Man. I'm going to Trump going in another country and snatching folks out. And
so who is
yeah,
it? Dr.
DeCosta, man.
Dr. Chris Scheitelberg, is that how you say it? DeCosta needs to go now for not re-signing Likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he resigned Andrews.
Right.
And I thought when he re-signed Andrews, that was the nail in Likely's coffin.
Yeah.
And Likely didn't have the greatest year. He had, a couple fumbles, some missed passes, some drop passes in key situations, especially the touchdown in Pittsburgh against Pittsburgh. That was a touchdown. That wasn't a touchdown. That was a catch. That wasn't a catch. That one,
And that other one that he fumbled going across the line, touchdown.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that they won't be able to sign Likely, but I think that other teams will throw some money at him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna throw some money at this guy, and we probably won't be able to keep him.
Would you be opposed to trading a first and a third for Crosby? Man,
I'm not trading a first and a third for him. I'm not. I'm not.
And you rarely see teams trade away first round draft picks.
Right.
Rarely.
I'm not.
Maybe a third and a fourth or something. I don't know.
And we got the 14th pick this year.
Yeah.
So maybe if we was at a 30-something round pick, like, we went, had a great record, and our first round pick was 32nd or 30, whatever, 29 or something like that. That's something to think about. But the 14th pick, no.
Well, AKA Fred, we cannot go into the season with no pass rush. We cannot. So as we stand here in January, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and September. So I'm hopeful. Again, Eric DeCosta got to get on his job, whatever that entails. Whether he got to make a trade, whether he got to move up in the draft to go get somebody, whatever he has to do, he has to improve the pass rush. Top pass rushers always go top 5. Rarely do they fall. Right. Well, again, this is why he has to do his job. He has to be on it because now Harbaugh is gone. So the Harbaugh excuse is gone now. We can't use that excuse now. Now Eric DeCosta has to show improve. Now it's up to you. You got to get the right pieces to fill this puzzle out and get things back on the right track. Offensive line and defensive line has to be a priority. Has to be. Final nail for EDC. Do you think Andrews catches that pass that was set up for a field goal attempt? Instead of trading 89 for a pass. Truthfully, I was surprised that they re-signed Andrews. Not that I felt like he needed to go, but I thought that the money would have been better spent younger. Likely. What's the other tight end's name? Number 88.
I always forget his name.
I forget his name, but he's showing that he can catch a pass. He's not as good a pass catcher as
but
Andrews, likely.
I like him.
But I like him. I like him. And one thing the Ravens draft well is tight end. If they don't draft anything else well, they draft tight ends extremely well. Going back to Todd Heap and Pitta. You know what I'm saying? They don't miss in that tight end spot often. And we've had some pretty good ones.
And the reason for that is Ozzie Newsome.
Mm-hmm.
A
Well,
Hall of Fame tight end.
He would know what a good tight end is.
And he would know.
Yeah, he would know. If it's me, I go for a trade for Crosby, like pass rush, trade Andrews, a first, a third, whatever. But we need a proven pass rusher. That's we agree that we need a pass rusher. We definitely agree to that. How they go about doing it, I don't know how they go about doing that. Do they?
I mean,
because a team that covers draft picks like the Ravens do, I don't see them trading away a draft pick for a veteran player like that. Not a first round draft pick. I don't see the Ravens doing that.
I think the Ravens are pretty hyped about having the 15th pick. And again, that pick, 14th. The last time we hit the 14th pick was Kyle Hamilton. Typically, the Ravens are way lower for the first round, and and you have to, and I guess you have to give some kind of credit to the Ravens organization for being a playoff team practically every year and not having a high draft pick, not drafting high, and still being able to keep the team in the playoff. I mean, they lose coaches every year. They're drafted low, but they still make the playoffs. So we have to give some kind of kudos for that. But I agree that I just don't think that Eric DeCosta has been making really, really good moves. I haven't been happy with his drafting and his trading and things like that. They talk about all these draft picks. I mean, they'll have 11 draft picks, I think they might have had last year. Where are all these 11 guys going? Won't you trade some of those picks to move up somewhere or something? I just don't like the way he's been handling that. The talent that he's bringing in. I mean, for me, if I'm picking a defensive player, man, he got to be a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, it's no question, man. I mean, I'm not picking no little soft guy to be out there trying to make some tackles. I'm looking for some dogs, man, and I'm just not. I just haven't been happy with the way DeCosta been handling things. I didn't like the way he handled the offensive line. To me, priority number one is making sure number 8 is okay and safe and protected.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. And I mean, if Lamar Jackson and that offensive line is straight, I think that they can outscore mostly all the teams in the NFL. I think most teams they can outscore when that's right.
Yeah.
And then you make sure that defense is straight. You can build on that defense. I give him a little bit of slack in the fact that he lost Matabike.
Yeah.
And I think he was with the understanding that he was going to have Matabike and that he was going to have Jones there, and they have and then what's his name retired too. So that was a big boy. Is Pierce?
Yeah.
Retired. So I mean, yeah, but losing Matabike was huge. But the offensive line handling, I just don't see no excuse on that one.
Yeah. So Dr. Chris Scheidelberg, they need help on the inside linebacker. And we were fans of Simpson. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with Simpson.
Yeah.
He played. He played Sunday. He played a lot Sunday. I don't know what the deal was with him. He just didn't seem to be in favor. But I thought he played well when he got opportunity to play.
No, I like Simpson, okay, and I like his size, I like his speed, and he's physical.
Yeah.
And I like that. I know they say he have a little bit trouble in the coverage, but I just don't. I just look at him more as an inside linebacker, and yeah, in a different system. And what's his name? Go over there to Kansas City. Oway.
Oh yeah. Well, San Diego.
I mean,
Los Angeles, the Chargers.
The Chargers. Yeah, I said San Diego, Los Angeles, and the guy was productive.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, he had 10 sacks for us last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he was pretty productive. I didn't really think Green had a great season as a rookie. I thought that he looked overmatched out there, a lot at times. I didn't think Starks had a great season back there at safety. He don't look physical. He didn't look like he had closing speed. A lot of times, man, you just didn't even know he was on the field.
Right.
It was that kind of season for him. You got Teddy Buchanan. He was out there running around a little bit, but I don't think that DeCosta has been drafting that well.
Yeah. AKA Fred said he looked small a lot of times.
Yeah.
On the edge. Yep.
He just looked overwhelmed, overmatched, man. He looked really small trying to get around those guys. Yeah.
There's so many people. The Oway trade was horrific. But the safety they got back in return didn't play bad.
Yeah. I'm what's his name? Aloy Gilman?
Gilman, yeah.
Yeah, he was okay, man. I didn't like the trade. I'll be honest. I didn't like the Oway trade for him. But he wasn't bad. He did make some plays. Gilman did. So I know that it looks like they weren't going to keep Oway, and they wanted to get something for him. But I think that the guy Gilman come over, he's on a 1-year contract too, right? Yeah.
But I think with Gilman coming over, that kind of freed up Hamilton.
Yeah.
To kind of be able to roam around a little bit. Because you remember last year, I said they need to let Hamilton play back. Because remember in the beginning of last year, he was playing up on the line a lot, and he was getting exposed in the back. And then they moved him in the back end, and it kind of settled the defense down a lot. And this year, he was in the back.
I like the fact that able to let Hamilton do his thing.
Yeah.
One thing it did. But the thing that bothered me about the trade is that they had just brought in a guy from the Houston Texans who was a safety. And I forgot his name. He was a hyphenated name. And they brought him in. The guy had 6 interceptions last year for Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He was a ball hawk. And he was a physical ball player. But then they made the trade after that. And that guy that we had said, look, and they put Gilman in and kept him on the practice squad. And he said, look, y'all got to let me go. I thought when I came here, I was going to be playing.
Right.
So they let him go. And the Chicago Bears signed him. And he'd been up there balling with the Bears.
Yeah.
He'd been balling. So I didn't think that we needed Gilman when we had this guy on the team. But maybe there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. I think they say he was kind of hot-headed, stuff like that, that played into this. But definitely, I think, Gilman coming in and making Kyle Hamilton be able to play around the line of scrimmage helped the defense a lot. I wished that Ladarius Washington, what's his name? Whatever his name is, Darius Washington would have been healthy.
Yeah.
And then maybe they wouldn't have had to go out and make that kind of a trade. I would have felt a lot better with Oweh out there on that edge than this guy Green, the rookie Green.
Yeah. Dr. Chris, hope that's what your name is. Well, you Dr. Chris now. If you're not a doctor, you Dr. Chris. But I appreciate you tuning in on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you back. Yeah, this guy. Let me see. Eric DeCosta loves safeties and DBs, but doesn't draft dogs on the D line. Yeah, and that's pretty much been the theme. We've been saying that.
Yeah, that guy is balling in Chicago, man. I'm telling you, I've been paying attention to that.
Yeah.
So, a lot of action in the NFL. I think the Raiders coach got fired too, right?
Yeah, he got fired.
Yeah, he got fired. I was just looking at Max. Max, he had 10 sacks. He forced a couple of fumbles, had 30 quarterback pressures, batted down 4 passes. Overall, PFF grade 75.5. So he's still balling. He's still making noise over there.
Yeah. I see Todd Monken got an interview request from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Oh, that is your real name, Dr. Chris. Okay. Dr. Chris.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Well, now, when they ask that ask question, is there a doctor in the house? We can say, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Dr. Chris is in the house.
Thank you for the sub, Dr. Chris. And let me see. Are you a doctor in the realm of Dr. J? or in the realm of Dr. Dre? Or are you like a medical doctor? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like a PhD.
Right.
Yeah, what is your area of expertise?
Psychologist, yeah, it might have that PhD, right? Right.
Hey, I appreciate the sub though.
Appreciate the subscription, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a good flow tonight, man. It was a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot to talk about.
We talked about that L, that and you know what we didn't talk about? You know what we didn't talk about? The amount of people that was running to the key bridge Sunday.
They broke records. Broke records.
Hey, hey Cookies, you've been throwing some little comments. You hit that subscribe button too, Cookies. Hit that subscribe button. I was a rapper once upon a time. So
Yes, he was.
I had a short stint as a rapper back in the day.
Right.
Yes, sir. So he says he's a PhD, he's a researcher.
Okay.
That is what's up. I appreciate you joining. Can you do some research on some defensive ends and some linebackers and some offensive linemen for us, please.
And I respect that PhD, man. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of years,
Sir.
even money and time and energy, you know. So shout out to you, man, for that PhD. Definitely.
Sir. Yes, indeed. And I was able to, one of my classmates at Coppin, when she got her PhD, she invited me to sit in on her when she did her dissertation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, interesting. Of course, that was during COVID times, so it was all virtual.
Okay.
So we didn't actually get to be there in the room, but just to even be a part of it, and to hear her talk about her research, and I was impressed. You know, it's the first time I've ever been a part of that, so I got to see exactly what it took for her to get the PhD, the final process, and then we were all on the call when they you know the panel went off and they did their little discussion and they came back and congratulations, Dr. Taylor. You know, that was a cool thing to be a part of. So I definitely respect anybody that puts that time in to do the work to get that PhD. And then you got to do something. You got to put the work into something you're passionate about. So I'm sure whatever it is you're studying or studied, medically certified in the Marine Corps from the Navy, and wow, see now
Mm.
that just went
Ooh, that's
way
heavy.
over my head there, buddy. Nuclear and chemical biological warfare.
Heavy stuff, man. Beautiful.
Hey, props to you for
Yes, sir.
your hard work and all that you have done, man. Hey, much respect.
Wow.
I was an expert witness on the winning side in the HBCU case against the state of Maryland. We won 577 million for 4 HBCUs. Was Coppin State one of them?
Is that right?
Was Coppin State one of them? Because I am a proud Coppin State alum.
Wow.
My man Dean is a Morgan State alum.
Absolutely.
Pastor Hancock, I don't know if he's still watching. He's a alumni of Norfolk State down in Virginia. So we definitely HBCU guys.
What that number say in the million? How many million? It's coming.
577 million.
Woo! Woo! Mm.
And he was an expert witness.
Mm.
Morgan State grad. Okay. All right, Morgan
08.
State. 08. Also adjunct at Loyola University for 10 years. That's what's up, man.
Okay.
That is what's up.
Beautiful.
Morgan State in the building.
Beautiful.
State in the building. That's right. HBCU. So are you a Baltimore guy? You got Morgan State.
Shout out to Loyola.
Yeah. Loyola. I work there part-time. Shout out to Loyola. They cut me a check every couple weeks. So Coppin was one of the 4.
Okay.
Go Coppin.
Beautiful.
Hey Coppin. Your mom is a great lady. Your mom is a
okay.
Okay.
All right.
One of the few.
So Big Kenny feeling good right now because there's been a lot of Morgan guys up on here.
Kenny Rice, Bowie State.
Kenny
Look,
Rice.
HBCUs. What's up, Kenny?
What's up, Kenny?
Yeah. HBCUs in the building. I was named the plaintiff too. Okay. Yeah. And welcome to the show.
Wow.
Welcome, man. You know what? I don't know how much we talk about biological and chemical warfare on the show, but if I ever need a witness or if I ever need some expertise in that area,
wow,
I'm gonna be hitting you up.
Right.
You know,
and the thing is that a lot of times when you see somebody who have that kind of intelligence, he come from Mount St. Joe. Okay. Yeah, a lot of times, man, when you see somebody who has that level of intellect, that thing can go across lines. He's smart and knows his job and things like that. And then you see him on the dealing with this whole HBCU thing. I mean, so obviously, he's not pigeonholed into the the technical part of it. So Shout out, man. Shout out to the doctor.
Yeah. What year did you graduate from Mount St. Joe? All right, we might as well get your whole bio up here. I know a couple of Mount St. Joe guys. And did you go undergrad from Morgan, or where'd you get your PhD from? Look, we getting the whole
I know.
kit and caboodle, you know, before we sign off. Cause we doing a little overtime. Doing a little overtime tonight, but it's all good, man. It's been a good flow.
Mm-hmm.
Good flow tonight. You know, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. YouTube and Facebook. I had a couple people on IG.
Yeah.
In and out.
Back in the day, boy, Mount St. Joe used to do a number on us in wrestling, man. Good gosh, man. We wrestled them when them Chipperelli boys was there.
Oh, okay. They reach out to me offline. Okay, I'm definitely for sure. Now that we connected, you know, you subscribe, so I know how I can reach out to you that way. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, you know, homeboy was a Mount St. Joe wrestler. Oh, Binky.
Oh yeah, Binky. Yeah, Binky was up there. Yeah.
Binky Jones was a Mount St. Joe guy. So you got three Morgan State degrees. That's what's up. That's what's up. He kept it at home.
Okay.
Kept it at home.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah. So you got 3 degrees up there. So you contributed mightily to all that construction they got going on up Morgan, man.
Right.
Morgan look like a whole other place up there now, man.
Man, what you talking about?
Yeah. When last time
I didn't even go to that school. I drive through there. I'm like, I did not attend this place.
Nah. When last time you took a walk on the campus?
I ain't walked on it in a long time, but I know I drive through and it's like, whoa.
Hey, I was up there last summer in 2024. I was up, man. I was blown away. Man. I hadn't been on campus probably before that. I probably hadn't been on campus there in probably 20-some years.
Right.
And man, I was blown away at all the changes that they made up there at Morgan, man. And I mean, really, they got Northwood Shopping Center. They got a building over there. And
yeah.
They're building all up on. I mean, man, it's a lot going on up at Morgan, man.
All down Hillen Road. I see them knocking down the old dorms over there, coming up Cold Spring. I used to park in that parking lot all the time. I mean, it's like the changes are incredible.
Yes.
He said, Rico and Lou. Yeah, them boys could wrestle, man. Them boys could really wrestle. I think it was, maybe it was Rico that went to the Olympics and wrestled.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one of the boys made it to the Olympics, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, this one of them nights. We probably could just keep going.
Right.
You know, probably keep going, man.
But some people gotta get up in the morning, right?
Yeah, I know I do. And today was my first day back.
Yeah.
Today was my first day back to work this year.
We had a couple White House stints, huh?
Yeah. See.
Left law school.
Money came from that case. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They made good use of it. Use of
it. Doctor, you need to write a book, bro. That's like you got enough material to write a book right now.
Mm-hmm. Rico, I think Rico, he's saying, went to the Olympics.
Oh, Rico, yeah, Rico, yeah. Rico went to the Olympics, man. Yeah, Rico went to the Olympics, man.
Yeah, but yeah, this. Oh, they were his classmates.
Is that right?
Okay.
Wow. And Rico, let me see. Rico, he either tied one time in high school or lost one time in high school, and it was a guy from Maryville, Jerome Featherstone. Featherstone was tough, man, and he was a really good wrestler, and I think him and Rico either tied or that was the one loss that Rico had sustained.
Mm-hmm. They said Louis finished in 80, he left in 81.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I came out of Maryville in 80.
Yeah. Woo!
I don't even remember the guy that whipped my ass in the wrestling when we did St. Joe, because I was wrestling. I was on a wrestling team.
Okay. Yeah. Amazon ex-wife, she definitely spending some money with the HBCU. She is definitely doing some big donations. What's her name? Bezos' wife. I can't think.
Bezos' wife.
His ex-wife. You know, he left her pretty good in the settlement.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
I mean, when you worth a couple $100 billion,
Nice.
you know, you gonna leave a whole lot of people nice in any kind of settlement.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
good. Yeah, that's
He said he
he
remember.
remember Featherstone. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Jerome, and he passed away several years ago. Was he in a car crash or something? Man, real nice guy, man. Jerome was so nice, man. Such a
He
guy.
lost to David Patterson.
Okay. Yeah, man. Those were some days.
Good old days. This been good.
Yeah.
This been good, man. I enjoyed the night.
Oh, he tied Featherstone. Okay, there we go.
You know, we knew coming back after the Sunday. So the show could have went a whole bunch of different ways. You know,
Right.
But again, I think we handled the loss pretty well. You know, we talked about that. We didn't really have to touch on the people running to the bridge because we know they were there.
Right.
You know, we know they were there at the Key Bridge, ready to jump, and down there on the pavilion down Turner's. You know,
Yeah.
man, they ready to end it all, man. Oh, man, I can't take it. The Ravens lost. I'm done.
That was one of the reasons they got in Bisciotti's ear and wanted him to make that announcement quick.
Yeah.
Stop all these suicides.
A lot of people would feel better if Harbaugh was fired. You know, I thought it was going to happen Monday. You know, I was checking my phone every 10 minutes Monday. Like, man, they ain't fired this dude yet.
Right.
And I was off Monday. I was off yesterday.
Yeah.
I was on my phone, relentless, looking. I'm just making sure. Hey, did they fire him yet? But it happened today.
Yeah.
I just walked in the gym at basketball practice, and happened to open my phone before I got into practice, and they said Harbaugh has been relieved of his duties. So
Right.
you know, yes. Let me see. So he said that means
So refresh my memory,
Mickens, and he said Guy Goodwin.
God. God was a monster.
He was
On that track.
track. Okay.
Man. It's the fastest human being I'd ever seen at that time. He played basketball and football too, but that track, man, he was a monster on that track.
So he said the algorithm led me to you.
There you go.
Thank God for the algorithm.
The sports mix is out there. Beautiful.
Sports mix is out there. Let me see. What's see? Killer Rob say his niece graduated last year. Check out and his daughter this year at Morgan.
And he went up there.
His niece graduated last year. Check out Nan. What did they say? Nano's.
Oh,
Nano's daughter.
Nano got a child, huh?
Starts at Morgan this year.
Okay.
Morgan is Morgan is just a whole another spot right now.
I wouldn't even know Nano if I saw him. He walked right past me. I wouldn't even know who he was. It's been so long since I seen him.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I appreciate each and everybody.
Yeah, great show, man. Great show. A lot of participation. Love that.
Then the night, yeah, I do got to get up in the morning. I do need my job. If we can get these subscribers up a little bit more,
right,
that would help the case. You know, maybe I could consider.
Yeah.
Not working, but at the time I got to go because this, bills got to get paid.
Absolutely.
and I'm in the business of trying to keep the bills paid. Consider that book in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They were track guys, but Mount St. Joe won the MSA track title in '81 in the sprints once Goody left.
Yeah. When Goody left, man. He went on up to Morgan, and they used to do some damage. I used to be up there at pit relays watching Morgan up there running them relays and that 4x4. Yeah, guy was tough, man. Guy was tough, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, man, I thank everybody. Dr. Chris, remember Northwood was segregated as a kid.
Ain't that something?
You know?
Dang.
Northwood.
That's a statement right there.
Because it ain't segregated now.
Right.
Well, that one little area.
Wow.
That one little area up there, off Argonne Drive, in between Lock Raven and Alameda. That little area up in there. Yeah. That might still got a little remnants of segregation up there. Hey, Dr. Chris, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
really
man.
appreciate you. Thanks for
Great
subscribing.
comments. Great comments. A pleasure to meet you online. Pleasure.
For sure. Rob said, call her a very rich woman.
Right.
Yeah. But hey, man, listen. Thank y'all so much for the night. You know, just make it a little easier. The season didn't end the way we wanted it to. You know, we Ravens fans, we do the Raven thing every Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much all season. We was here through the tough times too. You know, but season's over now. We can turn the page now, you know, when we start doing the sports mix. I'll probably take a week off or so. Just to get the batteries recharged up. And you know, we'll be talking a little more hoop. Basketball season is in full gear now. College, the NBA people pay a little more attention to NBA after the All-Star break. You know, college basketball jumping off. I'm a high school coach right now, so my season is about to get kicked into gear. We just got past the holidays, so now we into the grind. 2 games a week, pretty much to the end of the season. You know, high school basketball is pretty big in the city, in the area. You know, got some pretty good high school teams around. If you get an opportunity to get out and watch, you know, the Catholic League has always got some pretty good talent in it. There's some good city teams, some good teams in the county. So, you know, there's opportunity to watch some good basketball. Also, college basketball in the area, Morgan State, Coppin State, Loyola, Towson. You know, there's opportunity to watch some basketball in the area if you a basketball fan. But you know, we'll be talking a little more basketball. You know, boxing whenever the big fights come up. Orioles ready to jump off. Orioles been making a lot of noise this off season. So we'll dig into that a little more as we get closer to spring training and opening day and all that stuff coming up. You know, again, happy New Year to everybody, man. Hope everybody was safe, had a safe holiday season, and you know, gotta get off to a great start in the year 2026. What did you say the other day, Killer? You made a statement about 2026.
Yeah, I mean, it was a you know, spur of the moment thing, and it came out the way it came out. But basically, man, I'm just saying that, you know, we all on top of the soil. You know, we all got things that we want to do. We all got things that we've been wanting to do for a long time. And it was great that we had that doctor on board, because you could see that guy is making things happen. He's doing his thing. He is making it happen. He's got multiple degrees. He's the plaintiff. He's this. He's helping the HBCUs get millions and all this. I'm like, man, if you got something that you need to do while you're on top of the soil, get this shit done. Do it.
Do it.
What's the hold up? What's the hold up?
No better day.
There's no excuse.
Let's get it done.
Let's get it done. Come on, 2026. Make 2026 your greatest year ever. You can do it. there's no excuse.
None.
Time is not guaranteed.
No.
Let's get it done. Come on now.
I'll give you some applause on that one.
Hell yeah.
You see, get your media credentials through the police and get some interviews. Hey, you know, I'm working on them. I got a couple lined up.
There you go.
I've reached out to the Ravens. You know, I've reached out to the Ravens. You know, they haven't responded back to me. You know, I've reached out to them.
Keep hope alive, man. Keep hope alive.
Yeah, well, 2026, I'm gonna get some rhythm over there.
Right.
You know, and you know, as much as we support the Ravens, you know, hey, come on, show your boys some love. You know, we're going straight to the top. We need Lamar Jackson on the show.
Yeah.
You know, we need Lamar, man. Hey, listen, you usually get somebody, you know, from the practice squad or something. No, we need LJ. We need QB1 on the show.
Maybe you can get Zach Orr to come on.
I'm good on that.
Somebody.
Yeah, I'm good on that, man.
Maybe you can get Tyler Luke to come on the show.
Hey man.
Shout out to Tyler Luke, man. You know, we feel for you, bro. Tough predicament. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how you feeling right now. But you know, after a couple of days after the game, man, you know, we know you wanted to make the field goal. It just didn't go the way we all hoped for it to go. But you know, I respect Harbaugh for walking in that locker room with him. And you know, yeah. Okay, the doctor said he may be able to give us one of them Larry Bird or Magic Johnson assists.
Yeah, Doc might be a point guard. I like the score.
Right.
Give me the pass. I'll play on the block. I want to get a little layup or something, you know. Yeah. But I appreciate it, man. I truly do. Appreciate all the commentary this evening and the feedback, you know, Dr. Chris.
And anything that you can assist us with, we humbly accept. And we would appreciate
humbly.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. But this has been good, man. You know, I appreciate everybody once again for tuning in and you know, it just took a little of the sting off. You know, it was tough loss, man. It was a tough way to end the season.
Yeah.
You know, missing that kick and you know, Harbaugh got let go. You know, so now we not rebuild. What'd you say?
Reset
mode.
Yeah.
Reboot.
Yes.
You know, we rebooting. We not rebuilding nothing. We rebooting, man.
Right.
So let me see. Dr. Chris, what you say? Get the other guys first, and you may get LG down the road. Hit me offline. I think I can work with you guys. All right, for sure. I'm gonna hit you up. For sure, Dr. Chris. You know, but you gotta aim high.
Right.
You know, I mean, you gotta aim high. You know, why not? Hey, come on, Lamar.
26. We're gonna do this.
Yeah. I'm happy because if he hit the field goal, Harbaugh would still be having a job.
Depending on how you look at it. See, I mean, Kenny making a good point.
Yeah. Dean made that point too, Ken.
Yeah.
So yeah, but hey, I'm gonna get out of here because I'll be on here, man. It'd be my alarm clock will be going off. I'll be still here talking, taking comments. We are resetting. Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I do, man. I'm humble. I'm humble today. Even the old guy from the Steelers fan, he kept making comments that I wouldn't put him up.
Yeah.
You know, he's funny guy.
Oh yeah.
You know, I wasn't gonna give you too much airplay.
We like him too.
Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, Steelers guy.
Absolutely.
For sure. You know, because I will definitely accept your subscription. For sure. Steelers fans 2898. Hit that subscribe button. You know, we appreciate you too.
Absolutely.
Adam Schefter said, Killer Rob said, Adam Schefter said Harbaugh is the next coach for the New York Giants.
Okay.
And again, Harbaugh is not going to be unemployed long.
Oh no,
You
no.
know, he's not gonna be unemployed long at all. So, you know, it was time for him to leave here. And I think he's a really good coach in this league. And I think he'll do well wherever he goes. So
No doubt.
shout out to Harbaugh, you know, this for 18 years here, you know, thank you for that. All you did here, Super Bowls, you know, uh got to the AFC championship a couple times. You know, it was a good run. And he won more than he lost. So, you know, next guy up.
Yep.
Next guy up. But I'm gonna sign off for real this time. So I appreciate y'all. I don't even really have a real nice. I got to come up with a sign off,
Right.
a signature sign off. So in
Like
2020,
Don Cornelius.
yeah, you know, I'm gonna have a signature sign off. You know, so that
Love, peace, and soul.
you know, yeah, I'm gonna have something like
You
that
got to
where they
come
gonna
up
know.
with something.
They gonna know that. Oh, that's Big Kenny. Yeah,
Right.
that's it. You know, so I'm gonna have me something. You know, I get creative, so I'm gonna get into my bag.
That's your home assignment.
Yeah, that's the assignment. So the next time you see me, I'm gonna have something.
Right.
As I'm signing off. I might have something when I sign on too, you know. But yeah, it's all good, man. I appreciate you. And Dr. Chris, I will definitely be hitting you up, brother. Appreciate you, everything you did for the show this evening, all your commentary and your subscription to the show, man. I appreciate you. But everybody else, man, y'all have a good one, man. Raven season is over. You know, stay tuned into the Sports Mix. If you ain't following us on social media, we on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on TikTok at the Sports Mix Podcast. You can hit me up on all them. Uh, Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate.
We're gonna have a great 2026.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do some great things, man. But y'all have a great rest of your night. And we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Peace.